Thank you all for being here. Darren upgraded us with some Chick-fil-A tonight. Shout out Darren. Good job, Darren. There it is. Maybe. Cool. We're good on Zoom. Zoom's good and live. All right. Welcome to training number 5. Tonight we're going to cover the rate card and review the inspection. So we'll kind of spend a decent amount of time reviewing tonight because the inspection is a little bit involved. But we have a couple of us that are chipping in tonight. So you'll see a couple of us standing up teaching some concepts tonight. But a couple announcements. It's almost game time. So check Slack for updates. And we might need stuff from you going forward. Like one thing that comes to my mind is some of our markets we need solicitor permits for. And so very likely within the week, you're going to see some of your channels that you're, a lot of the like team channels have been pretty quiet up until this point. Like a lot of the stuff on Slack's just been like the All Point Pros channel, some leadership and stuff, obviously. But your actual channel, like the team that you're going with, we'll start to drop some stuff in there that we need from you for like permits and things that are more team focused. So just keep Slack, have your notifications turned on in Slack so that you're not missing stuff. So housing info will be sent out soon, so you'll know like where your address is and kind of who you're living with, the whole thing. So you'll get details on that. Darren's your guy on that. Darren communicates mainly on Slack. He'll DM you, direct message you. If you have questions, hit him up. And then we need a badge, photo, driver's license, and car info. If you're bringing a car, we need like the details on that because it's gonna some solicitor, like some cities want, if you're gonna be driving a car out to area, they want that info.
Also housing,
kind of annoying, and for housing too.
unless you like hearing your car said.
Yeah, well, so some apartments will ask that, but we're actually in a lot of Airbnbs this year, so not too much on that. And then yeah, upcoming events, we have training next week in Cedar and Rexburg. That real estate thing that I'm doing, the masterclass starts on the 22nd of March, which is a Saturday, and we're gonna do it at 10 a.m. that morning. So we'll do that day, and then the week after on Saturday, we'll skip a Saturday. So the first week of April, we're gonna skip because I'll be out visiting some teams. And then we'll do the 2 kind of middle Saturdays of April for that. But if you don't have access to that, the code is POINT, and you get all the videos for free if you want to learn about real estate investing. So,
Is the 17th right? 17th is a Monday.
oh, for this, that might be wrong.
19th is the Wednesday.
Yeah, it's probably wrong.
What?
No, for this is the 17th wrong for March.
That's next Monday instead of,
Oh, that's not a Wednesday?
no, 19th is.
Yeah, good catch.
Thank you.
19th.
Good catch.
19th.
All right.
Okay, cool. It's all good. Darren's so used to family home evening with his church calling. Just built into his mind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, we are rocking. I did this last time, but these are all the markets that we're in this year. 200 plus reps. It's going to be a heck of a year. And we have reps hitting the doors within like 2 weeks. So the sun is out and we're about to see some accounts get sold, and Slack starts to get fun because people start to get shouted out for good days on the doors. Anyway, you'll start kind of itching being in class, knowing that other people are out making money and you're staying poor and learning about philosophy or something weird. Here's all of our sales reps. Shout out to everyone. Love you all. I'm gonna do some review. So there's 5 steps to the sales map. This will be called the sales map or the sales cycle. Tonight, we are kind of getting more towards the end. We're going over the price and how to pitch the price to customers. But we have covered all this stuff. So tonight I'm going to be reviewing the inspection, which is this, like the presenting part. If you're still super fuzzy on the initial approach, which is like what happens when the door comes open on the porch, then jump into training. You're behind. You got to get some training done. So hit up your manager, hit up your regional. We are all hands on deck in terms of training this time of year. Like all these regionals, every time I'm in here, they're in here training someone or on the phone with someone. So if you're not taking advantage of that, you're leaving money on the table. So cool. We've reviewed this a lot, but anyway, these are the 5 steps. I'm gonna go deeper on the inspection tonight. Okay, so, the inspection, first thing, make sure they meet you in the backyard. So, they can meet you back there or they can come with you, but the big thing is like during your presentation, you want someone to be there with you. You'll be tempted sometimes to, kind of take this approach of like, hey, I'll go do a walk around and then I'll come back and tell you like what I found and then we can talk more. A more effective path is like to get them out and to connect with them and to build value and the whole thing, right? So make sure that you get someone that comes out with you from the home. Your chances of selling it go way up. Introduce yourself, shake their hand, tell them your name. Sometimes that doesn't come up on the porch, so just make sure like, yeah, connect with people, be yourself. This is a fun part of the sale where you get to not feel robotic at all. Like get to know the customer, tell them your name. What are the couple questions that you're gonna ask when the combo starts in the backyard on the inspection? What are our like icebreaker questions? Yeah.
How long have you been in the area?
Okay, perfect. That's the first one. So how long have you been in the home? If you're on Zoom and didn't hear that. Why do we ask that question?
Kind of get a gauge of if it's been only a few months, you might not have, well, had anyone come or seen any bugs.
Yeah.
So you're able to go with kind of like the neighbors part of it.
Yes, love that. Yeah, you're gonna talk to someone differently if they've been in their home for 20 years versus like a brand new move-in. If they're brand new, you can kind of take this position of like, oh, you're new here, let me educate you. If they've been there forever, then that style or that approach is definitely not gonna work, right? So you gotta kind of, it's just helpful info to know. So not only is it like an icebreaker question, it also helps you a lot throughout the rest of your inspection. What's the second question you're gonna ask? Yes.
When was the last time you had a pest control team?
Yeah, pest control service come out on the home. So, when was the last time you had the home serviced is the question, right? And if they have a company, they told you on the porch that they have a company, so it's a switchover inspection. It's gonna be a similar question, but you're just gonna ask, when was the last time your company was out and did an actual treatment on the home? So if they don't have a company and you're on an inspection, when was the last time you had the home serviced? And then the question will be really similar, but like if they have a service, when was the last time X company was here and did an actual treatment on the home? Okay, any questions on that? So here's those 2 questions. How long have you guys been here? Have you ever had a professional service done on the home before? When was the last time? And then like these are your 2 staple questions, but like a lot of times like I'll kind of like be myself, right? Like, oh, that's awesome. Do you guys like the neighborhood? You've been here 10 years. Do you guys like the neighborhood? That's awesome. I'm here pretty often. We love this spot too. Your neighbors are really nice. That's cool. You know, like be yourself, connect with people. Okay, use things you see and information you've gathered to create need, value, and urgency. So need, value, and urgency are like the 3 ingredients that I need on an inspection to get a sale. So my whole goal of the inspection is to prepare the customer for the price and get them to say yes to that price, right? And these are like, I think of it as like a soup. Like my soup is not going to taste good unless I have all 3 of these ingredients in the soup. So need, value, and urgency. Yeah. So you're going to start with the need. You're going to ask those questions. And maybe a follow-up question, like before, as you get into the need here, it's appropriate to ask questions, right? So like, what are some more info gathering questions in terms of need that you might be able to use to find out more about their experience with pest control? Like, what are some questions some more questions I might use to figure out what their need is? Yeah.
What bugs you normally see?
Yeah, cool. So like need is about the bugs, right? We're selling pest control. Don't shy away from it. Like ask them, like, what do you guys see here in your home? You've been here 10 years. What have you seen here in the past? Notice how I asked that question. What have you seen in the past is a lot more effective than have you seen anything in the past? One of them is a yes, no. The other one is assumptive, right? What have you guys seen here in the past since you've been here? You live in Alabama or Ohio or wherever, like it's hot and humid. I know you see bugs. What have you guys seen here since you've been in the home? So yeah, love that question. Yeah.
You could also say like, where are you seeing it? So you know when you're explaining the
Yes.
value, you know what to address.
Yeah. if you get someone to admit that they have bugs, a really good follow-up question is like, where do you guys see those? Mainly on just the outside, or do you see them on the inside? And if they're like, I would get them in the kitchen, and you're like, sweet, I'm gonna sell this, right? So, yeah,
You could hint at the neighborhood or their surroundings, so like a lot of time if they're backed up against the lake or river or stream, I'll mention that, like, a lot of folks here on the Shenandoah are starting to see X.
Yep.
What have you guys typically seen in the past? And
Yep.
that will usually bring up something.
love it. Yep, that's so good. Okay, cool. So find the need, find their hot button, right? Like everyone has a hot button. Most people do. You're just searching for it. Like, is your hot button ants? Is it spiders? Is it like, okay, you don't see any bugs, but you're worried about future bugs? I'm just trying to figure out what that need is, right? And then sometimes you can illustrate with those these rate cards. I don't know where one is, but we have these visual slicks that you'll have on you. So sometimes if they're like, I don't see anything, like honestly, I don't see bugs in my house. There's one of the visual sheets that we have is like the inside of a wall, and you can see it basically just shows like how bugs nest in people's walls, and you can just show them like, yeah, I know you don't see too much, but like this is why I do what I do. There's bugs get inside of your walls, and that's your need. Like you're kind of like using things that maybe you can't see if there's not an obvious hot button of the customer. Okay, and then value. What are the 3 pieces to value, real quick? So I have like 3 steps. So there's 3 like ingredients to the whole inspection, but then there's 3 steps to the value piece. Yeah.
Scope of service, frequency, and guarantee.
Good. So scope of service, which is what? When we say scope of service, what does that mean?
What we do.
Yep, what the technician does each time he comes out. Frequency. What does that mean? Yes, we come 4 times a year, right? We come 4 times a year, so you're gonna after you're done explaining what the tech's gonna do, you're gonna tell them I come 4 times a year. And then the guarantee is the last piece. What does the guarantee mean? Yeah.
Guaranteeing that they come out if they see any press, like they guarantee.
Yep. Yeah, so I guarantee that if you hire me, you're not gonna see issues in between, and if you do, then we'll put our money where our mouth is, and we'll come back and we'll treat it as many times as we need to until you're satisfied as a customer, right? So those are the 3 things that you're touching on during the value. So you're basically just solving their problem. So I'm gonna meet them, shoot the breeze, get to know them, find their problem, find their need, find a reason to buy pest control. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's a little bit less obvious, but I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna tell them how I'm gonna solve that problem. And then urgency. What is urgency? Yeah.
Trying to make them understand that this is a time constraint.
Yeah. Yep. So if you served a mission, or I'll use the mission as an example. A lot of you guys serve missions. How effective is the whole like how many times does someone actually call you back if you leave a card with them? Like ever. Like I never had. I was like total goose egg on my mission on people calling me back, right? So in this job, people buy emotionally and then they justify logically. You want to get people to pull the trigger while you're there with them. Very low chances they're gonna like put your number on the fridge and call you in for like 2 months or 2 weeks or whatever. That's not how people operate. So you're trying to create urgency, and the whole pitch is, I'm out here, I have trucks that are out surrounding us right now, servicing all these jobs that my team is doing. And if you'll work with me on the timing, then I'll do this for a discount for you. Okay? So that's a legitimate discount. We're willing to give the service away for the first one for a deal if they will let us sell them while we're all there. It's a density thing. Any questions on that? Okay. So let's see. Oh, it's got this little thing. I'm gonna click through it. Okay, I'm gonna cover one more slide, and then I'm gonna have Tanner demo this. But I'm gonna have him demo it with an objection. So oftentimes during the inspection, you'll get some people that have some concerns, right? They'll have questions. They might have like actual objections. So this is our process with objections. It's the same process as it was on the porch, right? So on the porch, if someone gives you an objection, you're gonna empathize. You're gonna tell them some logic or a tailored response that might change their mind. and then you're gonna ask them a question or just try to move the combo forward. So that same pattern we're gonna use on the inspection. Okay, so one of the objections that you might get as the conversation goes on is this a contract? Like, what am I committing myself to, right? So I'm gonna go through these actually one at a time. Great question. Have you ever had pest control in the past? So that's a really, that's kind of a empathy statement that a lot of times we'll use if someone asks this. Why is that question effective for this objection? Have you ever had pest control in the past? Maybe a veteran that's used this before. Yeah.
It's just finding out if they're familiar with the way that pest control works, so that way they're not surprised when you tell them that there's an agreement.
Yeah. How does pest control usually work? There's a contract, right? Like 99% of companies throughout the country, they do at least a 1-year commitment. So I'm trying to like tell the customer, I'm trying to see if the customer's like in the loop on that. Cause they might just say, yeah, I've had this done in the past, I've had a service. Which kind of like signals in their head, like I've done this before, I'm not in danger right now. Like I've done another pest control contract, this is not scary. So yeah, great question. Have you ever had pest control before? Okay, so you know how it works. The service agreement is just for 12 months. People usually end up loving the service and do it long-term, but that will be up to you, right? Also, sometimes you can use some humor in here, like, yeah, it's usually like, or sometimes you can joke like, yeah, it's a 10-year contract. And just wait for the customer and they're like, what? No, I'm just kidding. It's just 1 year. We just ask that you try it out for that first year. Close. So I'll show you how this discount works because the rate card is coming up after this, right? So I'm pushing the combo forward to my next step. So there's multiple options that you have here. Here's a good one on this. So I'm gonna have Tanner demo this, the whole inspection, but I'm gonna give him an objection at some point, and he's gonna use that empathy, tailored response, and then kind of push the combo forward based off of what my objection is. Okay, let's give Tanner a hand. Okay, so why don't we start on the porch? Let's just start from the very top, and I'm gonna be really simple on the porch, but you'll at least kind of know who your customer is from what happens on the porch. Yep. Okay. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, how can I help you?
I just got done doing work here with Mary and Sue. Did they by chance let you know what was going on?
No,
Day or
no, what are you doing?
yeah, so I'm just a neighborhood bug guy. So since my trucks are in the area, if I can feed into the schedule with the rest of the neighborhood, for your home as well for about half the normal price.
Okay, what does that cost?
Yeah, great question. What's the square footage of the home?
It's like 2,500 square feet.
Okay, sweet. I just need to do a quick inspection around the outside of the home and I can get you a free quote. So is the gate on the left or on the right?
Yeah, you can take a look.
Okay. Well, yeah, just put some shoes on, meet me in the backyard.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey, my name's Tanner. What's your name?
Parker.
Parker.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
you too.
This is a beautiful home.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been living here?
For 5 years?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I've loved working with all the neighbors out here. So
Yeah, we have good neighbors.
everyone's so friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess have you ever had pest control here before?
Off and on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had companies do it. I treat it myself here and there.
Sweet.
So we're kind of usually doing something just to keep up with the ants.
When was the last time you had the home professional service?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
I do it off and on,
Just
kind of
yourself.
seasonally for like we get those little black ants.
Gotcha.
So
Are they mostly on the inside or on the outside of the
yeah,
home?
we get in the kitchen and bathrooms off and on. So
Okay.
that's kind of the main thing that I deal with. We deal with some other stuff, but that's mainly the thing that my wife's always on me about.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. My wife's the same way, so I totally get it. I guess do you usually use the stuff from Home Depot, the home defense? Or okay.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, I'll show you exactly what we've been doing for Mary Sue and everyone else. Pretty similar situation. A lot of them have actually been trained themselves for a while, but they started working with us because we're able to do something a little bit longer lasting and effective.
Okay.
So essentially what happens over time is bugs like to get inside the wall boys here. So that's kind of why you're seeing infection. So essentially we come out with this special product that's residual and transferable, a little bit different from that contact killer that you've been buying from Lowe's and Home Depot. But we apply it 3 feet up the home, 3 feet out, all the way around the entire base. Essentially what that's gonna do is it's gonna carry back into those walls, spread like a virus, slowly start killing all those ants off and push them out of it. On top of that, we're actually gonna put down a granular 30 feet out from the base of the home. That's gonna completely push those ants off the property. That way you never see them on the inside, let alone on the exterior. And then just to finish, we go around and sweep down any like cobwebs or wasp nests that we see. Something simple, but put up a repellent, keeps those guys from ever coming back as well.
Okay.
So
So you do kind of all of it, cause like it's all included.
yeah, of course. I mean, our main focus is gonna be the ants, right? That's what you've been noticing.
Yeah.
But pretty much everything's covered, inside's included as well.
Okay.
So we just come out once every 3 months, and if you ever see anything in between our appointments, call us up. We'll come back out here for free for you.
Okay, is this, I think my main concern, man, is it, I hate contracts.
Sure.
And so I just I don't like tying myself financially to some sort of commitment like that.
Yep.
You know, if you came once or twice, but that would be probably my main concern.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you mentioned you had pest control in the past.
Yeah, we've done it off and on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so with us, the main thing is bugs don't just go away. It's not like a wave of the wand and they disappear.
Right.
It takes some time, but we can give you some longer lasting results in that kiln contact, spray that you've been using. So if you give us enough time to treat at least 12 months, that gives us enough time to guarantee it work. And then you'll never, like I said, be seeing anything on the inside or on the outside again. So yeah.
So how long is the agreement for?
Yeah, so with us, just 12 months. So we just ask you to try it out for 12 months. You love the service, you're gonna be able to keep the discount that we're gonna offer you. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess do you want us to treat the inside when we're out here though, or just the exterior?
I mean, I would have you do the inside if we did it, cool, do both.
Okay, sick. Yeah, well, I just need to grab some quick info from you, and then we can get you set up with the service.
Yeah, what does it cost? Like, what's the-
I mean, if you want to ask the price, sure.
Good job. Everyone just told me without me even, I'm just like, sweet, alright, let's do it. That was so good. What did you guys take away? I'd love to hear just like 2 or 3 takeaways, and then Cam's gonna teach the rate cards, which is the next step that Tanner would have done right there, so. Yeah, Diggs,
I'm gonna give 2 things, I'm just such a fan of Tanner.
you look so cozy in that.
I know, Cam got me.
Gosh, you look
Trying it
good.
out in here. But one thing on the door that I was really impressed is when he very subtly overcame your objection to not go to the backyard. It was such a high level that like, if you say that wrong, you're like, no, like I need you in the backyard, it can be really bad.
Yeah.
But his confidence in the way he did it, he was like, no, cool, like we'll just have you in the backyard with it, like grab your shoes. And
Yeah.
it just transitioned so smoothly. So
Yeah.
I thought that was like, maybe some people missed it, but like he played it off very well.
Yeah.
And then I really liked how when he found your red button, he didn't spend time on the other scopes of service. It wasn't like, cool, like he spent all this time talking about the wasps and the eaves or the spiders.
Mhm.
He found your hot button, which was ants, and he just hit it.
Yeah,
That's what he focused on. Told the other scope of service, but he was like, this is what you're, like, he knew that's what you wanted.
Yep.
And it worked out really well.
love that. Yeah, really good. Let's do 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
I guess mine's more of a question. What was the decision? Like, why did you get down on your knee when you were doing the explanation?
Because he's.
I'm
Because
sure
he's
there's
showing,
obviously a reason.
so when you do that 3 feet up and 3 feet out thing, it's actually really, like pretty appropriate to like use your body to like show what the service is like. Cause like sales is the transfer of energy, right? And if I'm just like super wah, like, yeah, we do like, run the base, the eaves, like, so Tanner's like animated, like showing. I do 3 feet up, you can get on his knee, like 3 feet out. I do the eaves up around the top. I granulate the yard. So like showing with your body language, that very first presentation we did, we talked about body language and the importance of it. A lot of times people subconsciously are like not picking up every single thing that we're saying. So he's like doing everything he can to articulate what the value is that the customer's gonna go get.
Another thing too is I run my finger underneath the siding because there's gonna be vinyl siding that meets the foundation. And there is 9 out of 10 times cobwebs there. So I'm running my hand underneath, pulling out cobwebs, so I'm showing them as I'm showing them,
I love
what we're
that.
doing.
Yeah.
And
And you
like,
put your pen under there and it's like.
I go straight fingers because they get grossed out. When they see like skin on
Yeah.
bugs, they freak out.
Yeah.
So it creates some emotion.
Yeah, again, like anything you can do to drum up emotion with the customer serves you. So I love that. That's a really good question. Let's do one more and then we're gonna move on to rate card. What's another good thing that you guys noticed that Tanner did? Yeah, Kyle.
His flow was like really good, like it just kept the conversation going and it
Yeah.
never like stopped. It
Yeah.
was like, as long as you keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
It keeps their mind like continuing, seeing the need, the value, and all that.
Love it. Yeah, so it's not robotic, like this part feels fun, you can kind of connect with the customer, you're explaining it to them, so you're not robotically just like chipping away at a checklist, right? Tanner knows need, value, urgency so well and kind of how to transition from one to the next that it just feels super natural, so. Anyway, I'm gonna skip through a couple of these. This just shows a couple more examples of like objections you might get on the inspection, right? So is it safe? Like, you know, I have dogs, is it safe for them? Great question. It's really simple. Our products are super safe. We use the same products in hospitals and daycares. Push it forward. Do I have to be home? That's not even an objection. That's just a question. Great question. It's simple. We just need you home for the first little bit and then you don't have to be here after that. So there's this cycle and we want you guys getting really good at just understanding, you know, empathy, tailored response, close. Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn it over to Cam. Cam's gonna teach you how to show price to the customer.
Cool, rate card. So, we've made some modifications to our rate card this year to be even more simple and more understandable. And, I mean, we sat down for just like a couple hours, in our leadership group and we just like nailed it down to make it the most simple and the most efficient way to present the rate card to the customer. So that's what we're gonna cover today, how it works with not only the GPC, general pest control, but also bundling with mosquito and termite and other auxiliary sales that we do. So just to recap, like here, you have your initial price. This is the square footage of the home. So you will ask them what the square footage is multiple times. And then you'll actually signal with your hand and you'll kind of just slide across. Usually people associate like the price or like something set in stone with an actual like physical paper. And like we talked about this earlier, but if you're just throwing out a number, like it could be any number, how do they know that that's actually the price? And so a lot of the times I will, like every time I show them the rate card and this is what our prices are set at. And you're doing them a favor by giving them that discount, but it's usually set in stone based on the square footage. It allows you to give an amazing discount, but also keep your contract really high and helps you. On this end, we have the back, or this is the front side of the bundle option. So it's a little bit more lengthy. You'll have your square footage here, the initial price for the bundle, and then you get to choose which bundle that you decide to go with. So you will present the bundle, especially this year, you'll present the bundle up front, and it's easier to downgrade to just GPC than trying to upsell them to termite and mosquito. So originally, if I offered you like a price for 99 bucks a month flat, it'd be harder to upsell you to 129 for termite and GPC. If I pitched you at termite and GPC, it'd be a lot easier to, if they're not interested, just say, well, cool, we'll scratch the termite and just do GPC. See, does that make sense? Cool. So these are your two rate cards that you'll have. You'll have your own bug sheet, so it'll be its own little rate like card full of these bugs, but there's also really helpful to signal kind of what you're teaching. And people do get really emotional. So if you're not using these slicks, you're really missing out on opportunity. And so kind of like Tanner was mentioning, he pulls out some spider webs or some bugs. People get really emotional about that stuff. And they get a little concerned almost. And so sometimes I show them spiders might be crawling through the attic, or maybe the ants crawling underneath the baseboards of the home. A lot of the time that will bring out emotion in people. So we kind of covered this already, but any comments on how we can use the rate card as a tool?
I have one.
Yeah.
You go back to I love this magnifying glass thing for the seasons. So like the whole 4 times a year thing during my rate card presentation, because I'm next to them and I'm already showing them like with my finger what their price is. When I remind like that I come 4 times a year, I like to point at like the seasons, because it kind of helps like sell why I'm coming 4 times a year. Like people get ants in the spring, they get wasps in the summer, they get spiders in the fall, rodents. Like, so you kind of like, anyway, I like to use that one as a tool.
This one's great. This one's also awesome. Just saying like, so some people, a common objection will be like, oh, I only need you during the summer. There's only bugs during the summer. And that's when I would point out the year-round protection. Like, unfortunately, all the bugs don't die in the winter. They just go into a hatching cycle where they they prep for next summer, and that makes people think like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Any other comments on how this would be useful, while actually showing it to them?
I'm just thinking, I mean, this is my first time, so I don't know how useful it is, but I just am thinking if I were to be sold something, I would wanna see the prices, like,
Yeah.
laid flat out, like, okay, if I, like, it makes it so I see that you guys are being transparent.
Yes, yeah, that's 100% awesome. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, if you're not showing them this, it almost takes away credibility, because of the fact that this is set in stone. Like, it's on a piece of paper, which, you know, in the end doesn't mean much, but it is the prices that we have set as a company, and it shows you're legit and that you're offering a great discount. That was great.
Also, like, you're a young person that just came and showed up on their door, like,
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah, it's like $60, you know, like shooting from the hip, like. But like you know, the branding will match your shirt, which will match the truck, and it's just like, okay, like, there's this like, I like this guy, he's like telling me the price, showing me this thing with his hand, like.
Has a lot of validity, and it's also, it's company wide, so it's uniform. So just to intro the rate card, you're going to start off by letting them know a little bit more about the frequency that we come out. So how it works is we come out 4 times a year, then we break it up into smaller monthly payments throughout the year. If you don't mention that, they will get confused, or they might think the price is the monthly rate. Who in here that has sold in the past has had that problem where they're like, I thought it was only $50. Raise your hand, right? And I think a big thing is being transparent and upfront that we have a quarterly service, but we bill monthly to make it easier for the customer. One nugget that I say is a lot of our customers asked us to switch to monthly billing. So we just gave the people what they want. And a lot of the time they're like, yeah, that makes total sense. Almost everything's on monthly billing now, like your internet. I don't know what I have that's like quarterly billing right now. Like everything, car insurance, everything is monthly billing. So you're just following trend, and I think that's why we did it, because every company on earth is doing monthly billing now, or the one time like pay in full. You're gonna show them, so you need to tell them, let me show you how this looks. And the reason we say that is because it's important to tell them that you're about to approach them. If you just said, we come out 4 times a year and you start walking towards them, they're gonna be like, shoot, what's going on right now? And so it's important to illustrate and say what you are about to do, even though you're about to walk forward and show them. So this is where it gets awesome and fun. I think we overcomplicate the rate card a little bit too much. And when you give out too many numbers, it sounds confusing and the customer just has too much info. So to keep the rate card simple, there only needs to be 3 numbers given, only 3. First off is our initial charge. And I don't like the word charge. I never use it. So erase charge, I would say price. The initial service, the initial price is $300. So that's your first number. Since I'm here, I'll discount that to just $150. Just being like one of the most important words that you say in this phrase. So you have your initial. Normally the initial is 300. Since my trucks are here, I'm gonna drop that to just 150. And then you're gonna cycle into your monthly. After that, it's just $65 a month. The way Parker taught me a long time ago was, and we'll keep you at that 65 monthly rate. And we'll keep you at that 65 monthly rate. And then you explain the visits one more time. That gives you 4 visits per year and free callbacks in between. If you notice any pest issues, and you also bring up the bundle. So if you're doing termite, you'll mention when you're coming out for termite. If you're doing mosquito, you'll also mention when you're coming out for mosquito. Because this is a bundle, you want to make it sound like one price, not 2 individual services. So the way I would word it, I don't know if it's on. The way I would word it with the bundle is after that, it's just $65 a month. This gets you 4 visits per year and free callbacks in between. We also come out monthly during the hot months for the mosquitoes, but it's all guaranteed. So you see how I just slid that in right here in between the guarantee and the frequency that we come back. Does that make sense? That's cool. So then you soft close with our mornings or evenings, usually better for you. You're not going to give much time in between these 2 for the customer to think about it. It's gonna be natural and you're gonna need to push the conversation forward. If you've been practicing with your manager or your team lead or your regional, you know that they will always whisper like close if you're not closing right after that last sentence. Because you're the one leading this conversation, you need to be the one initiating the next part of the sale. And so if I just said, sweet, that gets you 4 visits a year, free callbacks in between, and we come out monthly for the mosquitoes, especially during the hot months. So if you have any problems, we'll come back out for free. They're just gonna be like, great, like, thank you for that info. And then they'll come up with another objection, like, I need to talk to my wife, or I'll think it over, give me your card, sweet, like, we'll definitely hit you up in a couple weeks. And that's not what you want. You want to be the one to initiate the next phrase. So right after, if you have any pest issues, we'll come back out for free. Cool, ma'am, are you free tomorrow at 6? I have a couple spots left. Or our mornings or evenings usually better. I know a lot of people work in the morning time, and then that'll move the needle forward. Any questions on this? Yeah, or comments maybe? Yeah, so with the rate card where it says $250 for the initial service, and then you bring up the $300 price and the $150, how do you manage that so that way they're not confused what the discounted price is and what the original price is? Yeah, so you will be pointing to, with your finger, this is key. This is how I do it with my actual finger on the actual rate card. You are not side by side, but you are close enough to show them. So I'll say, cool, ma'am, normally your house is 2,500 square feet, right? Yeah, cool. So Sherry, normally a house your size would be 209. Since my trucks are here today, I'll drop that down to just 150. And I'll keep you at that 65 monthly rate. So you're showing them the before price, you're telling them the after, and then you're just sliding your finger to the next part over. So it is kind of hard to get confused because, you know, there's only 3 numbers, and in the end, they're not going to want to pay 209. They're going to gravitate towards 150.
Was your question just that the 249 is different than the 300?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna go like Cam did, like
Right here?
You're
Just replace 300 with whatever they're.
yeah. That 300 is just like a placeholder for. We're just teaching the principle. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But the way that Cam just did that was like perfect. Yeah.
Cool. So, and then the hard close, like Tanner said right here, sweet, I just need to grab some quick information. How do you spell your last name? We used to say, is there a good spot to sit down? But our sales are getting so much quicker, much more efficient. I usually don't, this isn't like a super big and formal event. Like, I'm gonna go sell their neighbors now, so there's not time to go sit at their table. It's just like, sweet, ma'am, what was the first and last name for this account? You already know her first name and you probably already know her last name. So it's polite to ask for the account because it could be under her husband or it could be under her. So anyway, this is kind of how you would do the rate card. It seems hard and it seems complicated. You will simplify it and it will be super easy, very nonchalant. I would say the one tip or like thing that I've noticed with new reps is they get really nervous about the price and they're almost asking permission for the customer. Like, is that okay? Is that an okay price? Is that a fair price? One thing I heard Parker say is the price is the price. You're the dude that sets the price. It's not changing. It's not moving. So if you tell them the price is 150, the price is 150. It's not, you're not going to lower it because you're nervous or you're not asking for permission because you set the price and you're really confident about it. People will be like, okay, that's his price. And it's just set in stone. Cool. I'm going to demo. Yeah, I'm going to demo this and show you how I do it. We're just going to resume from where Tanner left off. So he did the inspection, or do you want to do the phones?
No, let's do it.
Yeah.
One more thing I was gonna mention, like sometimes when people are less confident with showing price, they'll use the word about. Like it's about $150 or whatever. Like when you're talking about other people's money, you gotta be really exact and confident. So I would replace about with just, like Cam talked. Use the word just, don't ever use about with money. When you're trying to sell someone and ask for their money.
Credit card. Yeah.
The more exact, the better.
Yep. Last thing is nonverbal cues. I didn't really go over this, but you will do the same thing. How you present any slick, you will present it in the same way. So you will kind of flick out what you're about to show them, and then you just kind of circle around to show them what you need. We learned that back on like the bug sheet and how to show them that. So, sweet, let's do it. Cool, Parker, so let me show you how this works real quick. You said your home was 2,000 square feet, right? Around there? Normally, a home your size would be 320 for the initial service. Since I'm already treating Stacy today, we're gonna drop it down to just 220 and keep you at that 69 monthly rate.
Okay.
Do mornings or evenings typically work best for you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, I would just need to grab some quick info. Now, what was the first and last name for the account? Parker? Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, it can be really simple, it can be really easy. Another thing I do that I teach everyone is, once you ask for the account, you're just looking down. You're assuming the sale, that they're ready to give you their first and last name and start it. I'm not in this like mode where I'm like, is the first and last name Jerry? Like, is this gonna work? I'm just looking down at usually my phone or my tablet, and I'm just like entering in the info.
One last thought I just had to just get in my mind is, I think it's super important so this first part, I think it's super important at a distance to explain to them, I come 4 times a year and I break it up into monthly payments. I wanna do that at a distance before I close. Because I've found that like, if you wait to explain that I come quarterly and bill monthly till you're right next to the customer, it's a lot all at once. Like their brain's kind of firing. It's like, okay, cool. So here's the deal. So here's my prices. I come 4 times a year. I bill monthly. Usually it's this. So like, I want to use this distance that I have to explain conceptually how this works. And then when I get next to them, I'm going like, here's the numbers. So Cam, I come 4 times a year, once a season, and I just break it up monthly, so you pay me throughout the whole year. Let me show you how it works.
Yeah.
Then when I show, when I'm next to them, I'm going, usually the first one's a couple $100. If you'll let me, you know, if we can pitch in, I'll do it for just 150, and then exactly how Cam did it after that, so. Yeah, Noah.
Yeah, I just wanna add a comment to this. If rookies are feeling nervous about the price, like Parker, in your house, if say a dishwasher or air conditioning breaks, automatically, are you paying over $1,000 for that?
Yeah, like we make price a really big deal. I'm like, stuff breaks all the time. Like at a rental property, like I bet I have an email right now of like something that's freaking broken that I have to spend $1,000 on. Like,
Yeah. So,
and we make $150 a really big deal because we're college students and we're broke. But like to the homeowner, it is not a big deal. Like they have a big person job. And I love this point. Like Noah had the highest contract value in our company last year. And I want to highlight this actually. I said this at our leadership retreat. So Noah had the highest contract value in the company last year. Guess who had the lowest cancel rate in the whole company last year? Noah. So value is what you want to sell on, not going to the floor, not hooking customers up with deals. Like that, he had a low cancel rate because in his inspections, he was able to sell customers on why you're getting this, how awesome it's going to be for you, all that stuff. And then the price makes sense. You charge what you feel like the service is worth, which Noah felt like his service was worth a ton. And the data proved that, like literally he had a 3% cancel rate last year, which is insane in our industry. So I'm really grateful that he brought that up because like, yeah, price is a myth. I always tell, like price is like, dude, who cares? Like they don't know what pest control is supposed to cost. So anyway, you're gonna be tempted all the time to go to the floor, like of your price, every single customer. You'll feel kind of nervous, like they're gonna tell me no because it's too much. But selling on value, bundling services, your cancel rate goes way down when you can bundle additional services like mosquito with it, termite, because the customer is receiving more value from you, so they're less likely to cancel.
Did you have any other comments about that?
Oh, yeah, exactly that. Like, just as college students, we're like, shoot, man, like $65 a month is pretty steep for this. Like, I don't know if I can handle that. But yeah, I mean, like $1,000, if anything breaks in the home, pest control, you're helping your house, so it's justified.
Yeah.
Amen.
Cool. So we have a couple, we've actually come up with, that we haven't released yet. It's like a 15 to 20 page PDF of our sales map, all the objections that you will be receiving here shortly. And I would study the heck out of that because, a lot of the other regionals, Parker, myself, Darren have put a lot of time into it. It'll be in this similar format, but, this is essentially our sales map on how to navigate objections, but we're just diving in a lot deeper to all these objections that you'll be running through. Cool. What are some things you took away from this? I know it's a short training, but, believe it or not, these small trainings and these small like tweaks are things that will teach you will make the difference between you closing the deal or the customer feeling nervous and not wanting to close the deal with you.
I don't have a key takeaway, but I do have a question.
Sure.
You said when you said bring up the bundling earlier on, is that bringing it up in the inspection and then
Yes.
going it into the price?
Good question. So typically when you're, depending on the market you're in, you can bring it up in a number of different ways. But like last year I was selling in Arkansas, everyone knew about termites. And so the one way I would bundle, I would mention that they have the termite systems in the ground already. Or I would mention that they don't have them in the ground already and maybe educate them a little bit. So just like you educate them on the general pests, they might be seeing some ants on the base, or they might have a wasp nest up in the eaves. I would ask them the same question, like, when was the last time you had a termite treatment on your home? Or have you ever looked into Centricon termite systems before? And those kind of questions will incite bundling and educate them on that. And then you default to the bundle so that it's like already part of what you're selling. Does that make sense? That answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. And then, Brian.
I just, to go on with that, there's a guy following Instagram, he's, a good like soft close that he'll use to get bundles is like, he's like, if I have everyone on the street using me for the bugs and the mosquitoes, like, did you wanna do all of that together or just the bugs?
Yeah.
And that's a great way, like, before you can go to the rate card, just like, am I gonna put them in a fat contract or like, or not? But either way, they're gonna buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives them either or options, not like, yeah, that was great. Any other key takeaways that you guys might have learned from rate card, recap on the inspection, or just when Tanner demoed, like, he did that flawlessly, did that awesome.
I love the simplicity of the rate card.
Yeah.
It is scary. It's scary when you look at that and you think, that's so much information I have to give them. But when you just like go down the line and tell them, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Communicates a lot of confidence.
Very simple. The tendency is to just overcomplicate it. The way it'll sound for new reps that are like nervous or don't understand it yet, they'll say, well, normally $199 would be the start price, and then maybe we drop it down to like $115, and then $55. I might drop that down to like $40, and then we'll keep you at $40. The customer's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is so confusing. And so the more simple you can keep it, just 3 numbers, that's all you need to give them. It shows your discount and it tells them the price, and then you close, you move on. Cool. So we have some time today to break out and practice, and like I would really encourage you to get with a group of 3 to 4 people and start running this. And like we have slicks here that you can even try, but slide your finger and work with the nonverbal, but also just try and put it into play. So thank you guys for coming tonight. We really appreciate it.